how many laws are there for Newton's laws?
3.
Three. Important one is the first one and the second one.
Is the one about balance forces, right?
Yeah, first law says that an object will remain in a state of rest or uniform motion in a straight line unless acted by an external force. That means, okay, let's say it's in a state of rest. So I have something that is like this. So it's gonna stay there forever and not move if it's resting or it's not moving. Then if it is moving at a constant speed of 5 meters per second forward, right, it will continue to move as it is before unless I go and push it or unless I go and exert another force on it to make it go faster or exert another force on it to make it stop. So that is Newton's first law. It is also known as the law of inertia. And then there's this word inertia that you will see again later. But I think I mentioned before. So then you have your balance force. So what are balance forces? If you have two forces acting on the object here, and then these two forces are equal but opposite direction, then they are balance force. So what balance forces do is it cause the object to be at rest or moving at constant speed with zero acceleration. Okay, know what's going on, right? Okay, any problem with these two lines? Okay, these four lines or these 2 points. Okay,
Yeah.
so again, so example, so I have have one object and I have F2 and F1 and then it is moving at a constant rate in the forward direction, so it's towards the right. So what happens here? So here F2 and F1 is equal, so it's moving on a horizontal surface. So the two of them are equal magnitude and in opposite direction. So because they are balanced, it will continue to
It will
move at,
cancel each other out.
yeah, they cancel
The
each other out.
forces will cancel each other.
Yes. So because it cancels each other out, then there's no resultant force on it. So it will just do whatever it was doing earlier. So if it's moving at speed 5 meters per second, it will just go on and continue and be moving at 5 meters per second constant speed forever and ever and ever. Okay. And then the acceleration is zero. It's going this way. Say V equals to 5. So if it's a balance force, you have something moving, it is going to move forever. But if this object is not moving, it's at rest, then F2, F1 again. So the forces are still balanced. And you say that the force acting on it is balanced. So it will just continue to be at its the state of rest. Yeah? Then this. So it is a situation where I have a block and it's not moving. So the force exerted on it could be the force exerted on it by a table or anything else. But we have this thing, it is not moving. An object not moving, but there's two forces on it. So then the criteria set down here, then they say the object is at rest and then F3 is equals to F4. So because they are the same and they're pointing in opposite direction, so they will cancel each other out again. Then when they cancel each other out, right, the force of acting on them is balanced. So it will just sit around and remain at rest. Okay?
Yeah.
Next one. Then you have something called unbalanced force. Unbalanced force is when the forces acting on the object is not balanced by another force of equal magnitude but opposite direction. So that means you have one force and another force, then this may be 10 newtons, this will be 5 newtons. Then because they are not equal and in opposite direction, so this is unbalanced. So unbalanced forces will cause object to accelerate. So that means it will move faster and faster in a certain direction. For example, again, back to that block with F2 and F1. And then now it's moving in the forward direction. Then I say F1 is bigger than F2. So because the force are not equal, they do not cancel each other. Then You conclude that the forces are not balanced and you accelerate in the direction of F1 because F1 is bigger. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Then this one, we have now F3 is bigger than F4. Then it's unbalanced again, so they will not cancel each other out. So because F3 is bigger, the object will accelerate in the direction of F3. Any objection with this?
No.
Okay, then we have this concept. After we know balance and unbalanced force, we have this concept of a resultant force. Okay, a resultant force is when you try to add up or you combine all the forces on the body into one. So you add up everything. So when you add up everything and you get a final force, right? One total value for one force, right? That is a resultant force. So you combine the two or more forces, that one is resultant force. So we have a situation right now. We are going to figure out how to find resultant force. So I have now an object there, and I have two forces acting in the same direction. And these two forces are F1 and F2. So the resultant force is, because they are all in the same direction, we can just add them up and it's F1 plus F2. Okay? Okay, so what is the resultant force for in this scenario? So we see both of them are going in the same direction. So I will present my answer this way. Resultant force is equals to 10 plus 10 equals to 20 newtons. And this is a force. Force has magnitude plus direction. So yeah, like that. Okay, second scenario here. We have two forces. Yeah, we have two forces right now. Then clear drawing. Okay. So we have this scenario and there are two forces here. We notice that the two forces are in opposite direction. Okay, so now what happened is we have to add the two up and we cannot add the numbers up because there's direction. So direction, we will give it for direction, right, we will give the number a sign. So either a positive sign or a negative sign. So I will call this one that is forward, right, as positive, and then the reverse one as negative. So in this case, I will add up the resultant force is the forward force is F1. Then I'm going to add the reverse force. The reverse force is negative F2. Negative is the direction. When I indicate negative there, that means I'm saying that F2 is in the opposite direction of F1. Then you get this F1 minus F2. Okay?
Yeah.
So then we have this scenario right now. Okay. Then we have two questions here. What is the resultant force? Question one. And second one is describe the motion of the object. That F net equals to 10 minus 10 equals to 0 Newton. Unit is Newton. Okay, so it's stationary if it's not moving. If it's not moving, it's stationary. So what happens if it is moving with 5 meters per second? What if it's like this?
Meter per second.
It will move at constant rate of 5 meters per second. Okay, next one. And is, I think it's spelling wrong. N-A-R-Y. This one. What is the resultant force and in which direction will the object accelerate? F net 10 minus 5. Okay, that is first answer. Second, so you accelerate to the right. Perfect.